they are manufactured, how they are stored, how they are tasted, and how big is the area at Sula, right? What is their total consumption that is there in Nasik, right? What are the exports and everything. So I hand it over to Mr. Mukesh Singh for further talk on grapes and wine. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Bhandari ji. Uh,
Welcome.
a very happy good morning to all of you. I'm sure I'm audible to all of you,
Yes, sir.
right?
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah, okay. So today we'll be doing a training session on Sula wines. So we'll be talking about what is wine, how wine is made, how wines are stored, what are the grape varieties we have been growing in Nasik, right? Okay. So guys, I just wanted to ask you the questions. What do you understand by wine? What do you think wine is basically? I just simply wanted to ask you if you guys can unmute your mic and you can give the answer of this simple question. Yes, please tell me.
So wines are the alcoholic beverages, comes under medicinal beverages which nourishes our organs like heart and liver.
Okay, good. So what is wine? Basically, it's an alcoholic beverage, right? Okay, and it's been fermented from the grape juice. So you can make wine from the grape juice or from the grape must, right? So I also would like to ask you, can you make a wine from any kind of fruit? What do you think? Is it like we can make a wine from pears? We can make wine from apple? Is it like that? We can ferment any kind
I
of
don't
fruit? What
think
do you think?
so.
Yes?
I don't think so because the wines are made from grape juice.
The wine can be only made from the grape juice. That's what you are saying, right? Yes? Okay, but it's not like that. You can ferment any kind of fruit, and the fermentation process is very similar to ferment a pears, to ferment an apple, to ferment a honey, right? So basically, what you're doing, you are fermenting, you fermenting that juice, and you're making different kind of alcoholic beverage. In case you considering it wine, in case you labeling it wine, right? You calling it wine, it means it's from the grape juice only, or from the grape must only, from the grapes basically. Okay, and you require some fresh fruits for this, right? And in case you are fermenting pears juice, you're making a perry that is named perry, right? From honey, it's made, and from apple juice, it's cider. So the name can be changed according to the fruits you have been using for ferment. Okay, and what you require only the fresh fruits. You can't use the stored grape juice. You can't use the stored apple juice. Okay, why? Because in case you're storing some juice, for example, using Tropicana grape juice or real grape juice, so you have a grape juice which are some additives are added to it, and those are stopping the action of yeast. And once you are stopping the action of yeast, you can't ferment it. You know, the fermentation is a process where yeast is added in the grape juice and fermentation is started. So once you're stopping the fermentation, it means you can't make a wine. That's why only fresh fruits are required. Okay, so now let's talk about Sula Vineyards. Rajesh Samant is the founder of the company, and Kerry Damsky is the most awarded winemaker from California. He is the master winemaker of Sula Vineyards Private Limited. He's working with us till beginning. So Rajesh Samant, born and brought up in Mumbai, went abroad for higher study at Stanford University, California, came back to India in 1993. So he was having some land. It was just about 5 acres. So he wanted to do something. He wanted to do something big. So he wanted to do a business here in Nasik. So he started growing mangoes and roses here in Nasik, but it could not work well. Later, he decided to grow some grapes and to make some wine. He got an idea. Let's make a wine in Nasik. But now, at this stage, he was looking for a winemaker to accomplish this idea. So he came back to California again and met up with some wine growers. And he met up with Kerry Damsky. Kerry Damsky is the most avoided winemaker from California. And he collaborated with Kerry Damsky, and a winery was established in Nasik in 1998. And in 1999, they harvested the grapes at very first time. In 2000, they produced their first bottle of wine. It was Sula Sauvignon Blanc. You know the name. Name. It's derived from Raji Samant's mother name, Sulbha Bhai, a master lady, right? So the total we have market share. It's 65% of market share in India, and it's sourcing from 3,000-acre land. The company was started just from the 5-acre land. So within just 20 years, we can say we are the #1 company in India, and with the market share of 65% in India, and in some states it's up to 75 or 80%, right? And we are the biggest wine producing company in Asia outside China, with the capacity of producing 1 million cases every year. So in 1998, a winery was established in Nasik, and that was the first winery of Nasik. In 1999, the first harvest was done. The first harvest, plucking of the grapes at very first time. In 2000, India's first Sauvignon Blanc and Chenin Blanc was produced. How these grapes, we like these are the not Indian grapes, Sauvignon Blanc, Chenin Blanc, Zinfandel, and Riesling. How it's got into India? So Raji Samant and company, they got the roots from California and France, and they planted them into Nasik. Okay, and the plantation for this, it was started in 1996. So in 2000, two wines were produced. First was Sauvignon Blanc, and second was Chenin Blanc. In 3, it was Zinfandel. In 5, they opened a tasting room in Nasik. It's like you guys can go there and you can taste the wines there, and the charges are very nominal for this. Okay, it's open for everybody. Every year we have been getting 3 lakh people visiting there to taste the wines. But because of COVID-19, it's not operating. We are not operating this facility now. Maybe in a couple of months we can start it. In 2008, we produced India's first Riesling. In 10, we launched Beyond. Beyond is the India's first vineyard resort. In 13, it's got listed in Marks and Spencer. Wherever you go, you see a Marks and Spencer in California, in London, in Singapore, in Dubai. You can buy some Indian wines, and the wine is labeled with Nasik. So it's not Sula wines you can get from the Marks and Spencer. It's Nasik. Okay, with the label of Nasik, you can get some Indian wine, and it's Sula wine. And three wines are there. 3 varietals are there: Sauvignon Blanc, Shiraz, and Grenache Rosé. Okay. All right. So we have a tasting room in the Nasik itself, and we also have been celebrating Sula Fest. Sula Fest is India's first. It's like international event. Every year we have been celebrating Sula Fest in the first week of Feb. But last year and this year in 2021, we have not celebrated this event, and we have not celebrated last year also in 2020 because of the COVID-19. Maybe next year we can start and we can celebrate this event also. And Soma and Little, these are the 2 restaurants there in the vineyard, in the winery itself. Okay. The Source, Amphitheatre, and Beyond by Sula. So these are the property that company owns. So now wine producing regions of India, it's Himachal Pradesh, Nasik, Pune, Solapur, and Karnataka. So Himachal Pradesh, you can get the fruit wines from the Himachal Pradesh. You have a blueberry wine, you have a peach wine, you have blackcurrant wine. Okay, and the wines are very very tasty, very fruity, basically, and you can see you will see there is no difference in the original wines and the fruit wines. The only difference is the alcohol. Some has very less alcohol, some has no alcohol, basically. Okay, Nasik. So the company started from the Nasik. The first unit is near Gangapur Dam, and the second unit is also in Nasik itself. It's in Dindori. So with the name of Dindori, we have wines also, and we have a second unit of winery. We have 3 wines under the label of Dindori: Sula, Dindori, Shiraz. Sula Viognier and Sula Chardonnay. That comes from the Dindori unit, basically. And two more wineries are there in Karnataka, Unit 3 and Unit 4. So Nasik is known as wine capital of India. Almost 80% of Indian wines are coming from Nasik only, right? Because of its climate, its terroir. So Nasik has a very perfect climate for growing grapes. It has cool nights and warm days. Cool nights give acidity in grapes and warm days give sugar content in grapes. So both the things are a balance of these two should be very good for making a very good wine. And you have a very best climate for this in Nasik. And the soil quality is the type of soil is rich, versatile, and dark soil is there again very helpful for growing all types of grapes. So now common grape varieties, we have been growing almost 35 grape varieties in Nasik. So some are listed here. It's Chenin Blanc. These are very common. Chenin Blanc, Sauvignon Blanc, and these are the international grape varieties. You can get the wine of these grapes from any country. If that country is making wine, so these are the very common. You can find these wines from there. So Chenin Blanc, it's originated from Loire Valley, Sauvignon Blanc from Bordeaux, Chardonnay from Burgundy, Riesling from Rhine, Germany, Viognier is from Northern Rhone. Okay. Now the red grape varieties are Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Syrah Shiraz, Primitivo, Malbec, and Pinot Noir. So these are the red. In case you are a beginner and you want to try a wine, so go for a Pinot Noir or go for a Riesling, or you can have some sparkling wine. Right? Red wines are very complex, very strong. They have black fruits, plum, blackcurrant kind of taste, and they have a dark chocolate and cheddar kind of taste that might be not good for you. So in case you are a beginner, you can try tasting some Pinot Noir, some Malbec, or some Merlot, or some Riesling, right? The wine has some amount of sweetness in it. You can try that wine. That's what you can like. Now, how wines are made basically. So first of all, a sampling is done. A sampling is something. Sampling is something a winemaker checks the sugar level and the acidity level in a grape. Once it's checked, determine the harvesting dates. So we harvest the grapes in Sula from Jan to March. So once harvesting is done, they send the grapes to the winery. So there are two types of process. First is the crushing, second is the pressing. So crushing is done basically for making red and rosy wine, and the pressing is done for making a white wine. What is crushing and what is pressing? Pressing is simply the taking out the juice from the grape berry. Okay, and the crushing means you have a juice in the tank, you have the grapes in the tank, and you soft press them so that you can have a mixture of skin, pulp, juice, seeds, everything. So this mixture is called must. So this mixture can be fermented for making red and rosy wine. For making a red wine, so what you need to have some white grapes. Oh, sorry, for making a white wine, you need to have some white grapes, right? So I'll tell you first how to make a white wine. You have a white grapes, you press them and you press them and you have a juice. That juice is taken for fermentation. Yeast is added and fermentation is started. Yeast start eating the sweetness from the grape juice and convert it into alcohol. Once this process is done, that's your white wine. You just need to filter it, and you can stabilize the temperature of the wine, and you can bottle it. We don't do aging of the white wines in India, so you don't need to do the aging. In case you want to age the wine, white wines also, you can use Oakwood barrels, American barrels, and French barrels, and you can also age the wine in SS tankers, stainless steel tank. But white wines are not aged. White wines are see, if it's young wine, that's a perfect wine. You can have it, you can enjoy it. Young wine are very good. White wines are very good when they are young. Okay. So then it's your white wine is done within a month. You can make your white wine. Now red grapes are crushed. They make must. Yeast is added in the must. Fermentation is started. Once fermentation is over, you need to press. So pressing is done after the fermentation for making red. After the pressing, you have a juice which is dark ruby red in color, right? It's fermented, it's got some alcohol, and it has some grape characteristics and some taste is developed in that juice basically. So now, if you're gonna taste this fermented must, so it's very sharp, very harsh. So what you need to do, you need to cut down the sharpness of the tannins, and so that you can enjoy your wine, you need to taste the wine into awkward barrels. Okay. So French and American, both the barrels can be used. Both the barrels add different kind of quality uh, to the wine. American barrels add some vanilla kind of essence to the wine, and American barrel add some vanilla kind of essence and some toasting qualities to the wine, and the French add some more of kind of caramel, kind of cheddar, coffee, tobacco, and some vanilla kind of essence to the wine. Okay. So once the aging is done, you can filter your wine and you can bottle your wine. Very simple. Okay. Blending is when two grape varieties are blended together to make a very strong wine like Shiraz and Cabernet. Shiraz and Cabernet Sauvignon, two strong grapes are blended together to make a very strong wine. So now classification of wine. So wine can be classified into three categories: the types of wine, the body of wine, and the style of wine. The types of wine are still wine, sparkling wine, and fortified wine. So majority of white, red, and rosé, it's still. Still means it has no bubbles, no fizziness. It's in a still state, though it has good character, nice body is there, nice flavors are there in the wine. Okay, and it's very fresh. Okay, sparkling wine. So the example of still wines are Sula, Cabernet, Shiraz, Sula Dindori, Shiraz, Sula Zinfandel Road. So these are the example of still wine. Sparkling wine has some CO2 inside the bottle. And let me tell you, this is not added. You're not going to add some CO2 inside the bottle. It has some natural CO2 that is generated by the fermentation process. So sparkling wine can be made by two methods. First in the tank, second in the bottle fermentation. In the bottle fermentation, so two times you ferment the wines. First in the tank, second in the bottle. So it's fermenting inside the bottle, so it's generating some CO2. Okay, that's why it's got some CO2 inside the bottle. Like you have a bottle Sula Brut Tropical, it's a sparkling wine. We have Sula Brut, we have Sula Rosé, Sula Brut Rosé. So these are the sparkling wines. Fortified wines, brandy or cognac is added to increase the alcoholic strength. See how much alcohol is there in a wine? It's 8 to 15% in still and sparkling wine, and this percentage, this strength can go up to 15 to 22 degrees. Okay, 15 to 22% basically. So basically, it has more concentration of alcohol. And how you can get this? How you can increase the strength of alcohol? You are adding the alcohol to it. What sort of alcohol? It's grape spirit. Could be cognac or could be a brandy, right? Like port and Madeira, Marsala, and sherry. So these are the good example of fortified wines. The body of a wine could be light, medium, and full. Like you have water. Water is very light bodied. Milk, something kind of medium bodied, right? And you have orange juice, it's kind of full bodied drink, full bodied liquid. Okay. So the density, viscosity of your wine is the body of a wine. You have a sip, and if it feels like water, the structure, okay, the density feels like water, that then it's a light bodied wine. If it feels like if it feels like something like milk, then it's a medium bodied. And if it feels like some orange juice, some chewiness is there, some strong characters, some strong flavors are there, it means that is full bodied. The majority of white wines are light to medium bodied, and majority of red wines are medium to full bodied. So now style of wine is a dry wine, off dry wine, medium sweet wine, and sweet wine. So this is very important. You need to understand if you're going to have some wines, you need to understand this first. Dry wine means if a wine has no sweetness at all, it means it's completely fermented. So it's a dry wine, there is no sweet. In case you're looking for a wine which has some sweetness, so dry wine is not for you. Okay. Off-dry wine had some amount of sweetness, a very less amount of sweetness. Like you have Indian Chenin Blanc, Sula Chenin Blanc, you have Riesling. So Riesling and Chenin Blanc is an off-dry wine. जिसमें थोड़ी सी sweetness होती है, ज़्यादा sweetness नहीं होती. That you can try. Medium sweet wine has more sweetness. Like we have Sula Seco, which is better in sweetness, has more sweetness compared to off-dry and dry wines. And the sweet wine has plenty of sweetness, a lot of sweetness are there. A lot of sweetness are there. Sweet wine. The last bottle you can see, the small bottle on the screen. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is sweet wine, or you can call it dessert wine. Okay. Now,
Okay, sir.
where do you store your wine? In cool and dark place, away from direct sunlight. The room should have humidity. The temperature should be 15 degrees centigrade. Why do we require humidity? The wooden cork required humidity. Okay. So that it doesn't dry out. If it's get dry, then air can get in. If air can get in, the wine could be oxidized. And the oxidized wine are off. You can't have it. Okay, away from sunlight, and it should be stable. Okay, okay, thank you. So your storing unit should be very stable. Okay, and at what position do you store your wine in a vertical position or in a horizontal position? See if your wine has some cork to close the bottle, like you can see in the first bottle, Sula Rasa. So it has a cork. So you should store your wine in the horizontal position. And in case you have auto screw cap, so you don't need to worry about storing how to store your wines. It's basically you can store it laying down position or in tilting position or in vertical position. It's very easy to store the wine. So this concept is introduced by Sula in India, and it maintains the freshness of the wine. It's very easy to open the wine, and you don't need to worry about the storing, and it's you don't need to worry about the cork and else. So we have been exporting to 38 countries. Sula, we have been exporting to 38 countries, and this is the list of the countries we have been exporting our wines. And Japan is the biggest. Japan has the biggest market for us, the wine. Now the temperature. What temperature do you serve your wine? Serve your wine. It's like sparkling wine, 6 to 8 degrees centigrade. White wine, 10 to 14 degrees centigrade. Rosé wine, 10 to 14 degrees centigrade. Red, 14 to 18. So 14 to 18 is a kind of cold temperature. So it's not the room temperature. Okay. So don't confuse yourself like to serve a wine at room temperature. No, we never serve a wine at a room temperature. It's cold temperature, 14 to 18 degrees centigrade. And desert wine is 6 to 8 degree temperature. So the simple logic of chilling the wine is the acidity in a wine. White wine, desert wine, rosé wine has more acidity compared to red wines. And sparkling and white wine has the highest amount of acidity. So if a wine has more acidity, chill it more. Okay, clear? Good. Now, wine and health. So what do you think? Wine is good for your health? Yes, it's good for your health, but it should be taken in moderation. It's not like you're having a full bottle and you're saying it's good for health. That's not good for your health. Alcohol is never good for your health, but it should be taken in moderation quantity. So according to WHO, it's just 3 units for men and 2 units for women. And 1 unit is equal to 10 ml only. That is good for your liver. Your liver can digest only 30 ml in an hour. That's good for you. And apart from the quantity, that wine has some good antioxidants. Very good for your skin. It's good for digestion process. It's good for it blocks some fatty cell in your stomach. So the Drakshasha is a kind of Ayurvedic tonic which was prescribed to many Indians for centuries, and it's been made by partially fermented cape. Again, very good. Still available in the market. Resveratrol is something that is flushing bad cholesterol out of your body that you can get from the wines, and it protects against cancer. It's not like you can offer some wine to the cancer patient. No, you can't. Like you're good, and you can have it like my heart will be good. So because of this blood circulation process, that's why you can have some wine. The only 1 glass in a day is good for health. Okay, and 1 glass is of 150 ml. That's it. So in case you have any queries, you can write us on tastings@sulawines.com. You can follow our page on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram as well. Now, W.S.E.T courses, wine and spirit education trust. In case you feel like you can go further to study about wines, you want to be a wine professional, so you need to go through these courses. These are the wine qualification available in our country. They are W.S.E.T level 1, 2, and 3 are available in the country, and we have been doing W.S.E.T 1. So it's a one-day course. The charges are charges are not so high. Sula is doing almost like 8,000 or 9,000 rupees, but other people are doing it for 15,000 rupees. So we don't want earn money from this. We just want to spread the awareness about the wines. That's what we have also been. We have doing these courses as well. So we are the authorized course provider for it. Okay. So guys, do you have any queries? In case you have any queries, you can ask me. We are open for question answer round now. You can ask your questions.
Okay, so any
Sir.
query, any concern, yeah, please ask.
Sir,
Yes, please.
good morning, sir.
Good
Sir,
morning.
I have a question, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, why do we store red wine for ages but not white?
It's very simple. See, white wines, if it's young, that is good. White wines are
Yes.
refreshing wines. It has more acidity compared to other wines, compared to red wines. So you aging the acidity, it doesn't make any sense. Why do we age red wine? We cut down the sharpness of the tannins, but tannins are not available in white wines. So why do we need to age white wines? We don't see any logic of aging white wines. But some white wines, like some grapes are, heavy bodied grapes are there, like Chardonnay. In France, what they do, they age Chardonnay. Why? Because the Chardonnay is a very high bodied grape. To make it more silky, to make it more mellow, to make it more enjoyable. That's why they age Chardonnay in France. But here in India, we don't age any Chardonnay, kind of white wine. But the aging should be done for the tannins only. Cut down the tannins.
Yes.